Hey YouTube, Carrotwig here, bringing you all an update to my Lunalight Yugioh deck profile for September 2021. A lot of you have been requesting that I update Lunalights. It feels like it has been a while since the last update. For those of you that don't know, this is a fusion deck that focuses on a bunch of Beast Warrior type monsters. It was used by Selena in the Arc 5 anime. A fusion deck that can get out a bunch of different fusion monsters by going into different boss monsters for the Lunalights and using them as fusion material for the other fusion monsters. We've had plenty of good support and a few cards added to the ban list for Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe we'll see them off the list sometime in the future, but until then we'll play with what we have for the deck and a lot of different play styles for what you can do with the new support that we received a while back for the deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck cards for the monsters. Some of the best monsters in the deck. We're running 3 Lunalight Emerald Bird. This card and Yellow Martin are all of your setup, I would say, for the good majority of your Lunalight plays. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Lunalight card from your hand to the graveyard. If you do, draw one card. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one of your level 4 or lower Lunalight monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, except for Emerald Bird, and special summon it in defense position, but negate its effects. You can only use each effect of Lunalight Emerald Bird once per turn. So the special summon for Emerald Bird is to help with the tribute setup for your other Lunalight fusion monster that you make. Cat Dancer being an extremely dangerous one, being able to then have the multiple attacks onto your opponent's monsters. So Emerald Bird not only sets up the graveyard for, let's say, some banished fusion plays that you can use with cards like Lunalight Wolf, but also more resources for you to use by special summoning those targets back onto the field. I also run the 3 Lunalight Yellow Martin. Like I said, this card is also very important for the initial setup of your Lunalight plays. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target one Lunalight card you control, except for Yellow Martin, return it to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card in defense position, but banish this card when it leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add one Lunalight Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. You can use each effect of Lunalight Yellow Martin once per turn. So the best search target with Yellow Martin is Lunalight Fusion. This is probably one of the best cards in the whole deck, just for your actual setup of your Lunalight playstyle. Yellow Martin also has the option to be recovered from banish with cards like Emerald Bird, so the two work very, very well together for their special summon and monster setup onto the field, and just for your fusion monsters all together. I also run 3 Lunalight Kaleido Chick. A good majority of Lunalight monsters, I would say, is needed for the deck, just for the overall setup of your playstyle. With Kaleido Chick, once per turn, you can send one Lunalight monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. The name of this face-up card in the field can be treated as the set monsters, and if a fusion material this turn, and if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one polymerization in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Lunalight Kaleido Chick once per turn, and if this card is banished, you can activate this effect this turn. Your opponent's cards and effects can be activated during the battle phase. So if you were to attack with your Lunalight fusion monsters, it's just that much more scary, because then that's the only thing I'd say that your opponent would be protecting themselves from the massive damage they're about to take from your Lunalight cards. But the biggest thing that you need is just a card that can lower the attack of your opponent's monsters so your Lunalights can attack into them, and that card is Lunalight Crimson Fox, one of the last of the 3 ofs that we're running with the deck with Lunalight Crimson Fox. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0 until the end of this turn, and when a card effect is activated that targets a Lunalight monster you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate the activation. If you do, each player gains 1,000 life points. So more protection for your Lunalight cards, but the 0 attack is what you need when using cards like Lunalight Cat Dancer for the fusion setup, and when you can send it to the graveyard with cards like Lunalight Fusion, it makes it all the easier for the 0 attack point monster on your opponent's side of the field. The last of the 3 ofs for the deck is Lunalight Black Sheep. Just a searcher. You can add, with this card, you can discard this card to activate one of these effects, to add one Lunalight monster from your graveyard to your hand, except for Black Sheep, or to add one polymerization from your deck to your hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as fusion material for a fusion summon, you can add to your hand one face-up Lunalight Pendulum monster from your extra deck, or one Lunalight monster from your graveyard, except for Black Sheep. So being able to recycle those fusion pendulum cards, or whatever you need with Black Sheep, is a big plus there. But the polymerization polymerization search if we can't resolve our Lunalight Fusion off of that search. Having another fusion target search for this deck is very, very vital, and that's where Black Sheep comes in handy. For some of the lower numbers for the Lunalight monsters, I also run 2 Lunalight Blue Cat. If this card is special summoned, you can target one Lunalight monster you control except Blue Cat. Its attack becomes double its original attack until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Lunalight Blue Cat once per turn. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Lunalight monster from your deck. So being able to summon out cards like Emerald Bird or Yellow Marten and then just benefit off of those is a big help with this. But the main setup I would say with Blue Cat is to double the attack of Cat Dancer, and then having your opponent's monster at 0 attack with Crimson Fox and an over 4,000 attack point Cat Dancer, swinging into that card twice with Cat Dancer's own monster effect is game right there, being 8,000 attack points total. That is the scary combo play you want to set off with the Lunalight deck, and Blue Cat having that double attack option with other means of special summoning it is a big part of it. One of them being Lunalight White Rabbit. You win this card's normal summon, you can target Lunalight in your graveyard except for White Rabbit, special summon it in defense, and once per turn, you can target spell and traps your opponent control up to the number of other Lunalight cards you control, return them to the hand. So just being able to summon Blue Cat off of this card, having Cat Dancer already on the field, can double that card's attack with just this special summon here, giving you also 2 more material to either tribute for Cat Dancer or even go for another fusion play. And also, I run 2 Lunalight Wolf, being the pendulum monster of choice, and also the only one that's not on the ban list for the Lunalight cards. You mostly use this card for its Pendulum Scale, Miracle Fusion-like effect. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except Lunalight monsters. This effect cannot be negated, and once per turn, you can fusion summon one Lunalight Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion material listed out from your field or graveyard. So there's another graveyard resource if you were to banish Yellow Marten, actually Kaleido Chick, for these plays. You have the option of shutting down your opponent's plays, but also giving you the banish and fusion material cost of some of your other Lunalight Fusion monsters. If your opponent destroys them and they're set up in the graveyard, you can then banish them to go into your bigger, stronger Lunalight Fusion cards. And lastly, for the Lunalight monsters, just the one Lunalight Purple Butterfly. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to target one Lunalight monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack until the end of this turn, and then you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon one Lunalight monster from your hand. So this card, and let's say one of your other Lunalight monsters, can be the card sent with Lunalight Fusion, setting up your Purple Butterfly in the graveyard. For the banish, I would say, is that much faster of a play. That's why you really only need the one of for it, because that's what you're mostly going to use it for, as just that banish target option for your go-to fusion, which is what we'll go over now. Discussing the spell cards, the best spell card in the entire deck is Lunalight Fusion. You fusion summon one Lunalight Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can also use one Lunalight monster in your deck or extra deck as fusion material. You can activate one Lunalight Fusion per turn. So this is your go-to key target card, depending on what you want to send from your deck or extra deck. Being the use of the extra deck means you can go into some of the bigger Lunalight monsters without having to have that other fusion monster already on the field. And it all comes down to if your opponent has a monster summoned from the extra deck, which more than likely not, they will have, since that's what a good majority of decks run in this game. So you can play around your opponent's plays with this spell card as your go-to fusion resource. For more special summoning with your Lunalight monsters, I also run 3 Lunalight Perfume. You can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and you can banish this card from your graveyard and discard one card to add one Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. Search power, it's not a once per turn, but that special summon and then just followed up by another banish play is what makes this card so scary of a setup card for the Lunalight deck. Along with Lunalight Fusion, just being able to rely on this card for your go-to combo play of setting up what you need for the Lunalight monsters. Can also special summon out your Blue Cat to the field, doubling the attack of Cat Dancer or any of your other Lunalight monsters, including the boss monster Lunalight Saber Dancer. For the other fusion requirements, I also run 3 Polymerization. Now, I was debating lowering this down to a one-of card in the deck, just because we have cards like Lunalight Black Sheep to search it from the deck, and cards like Kaleido Chick to recycle it from the graveyard. If you wanted to drop Polymerization down to a one-of, the other 2 cards you can run the deck is Foolish Burial Goods, because Foolish Burial Goods can set up Lunalight Perfume in the graveyard for the banish add back of another Lunalight monster from your graveyard. So if you want to add 2 Foolish Burial Goods, that would be the count here, and then just 1 of the polymerization cards. We also have Lunalight Fusion to rely on, so that can be an option if you wanted to go for more of a swifter playstyle, but it's player preference and just how long and fast you want to get to the Lunalight Perfume in the deck for that setup, being able to use Foolish Burial Goods or just rely more on the fusion play. It's up to the player at that point. For more of the fusion and monster search target option, I run 3 Fire Formation Tenki. You just add 1 level 4 lower Beast Warrior type monster from your deck to your hand. So you can search out any monster you need in the deck with this spell card. Very, very useful there. And depending on what you need for your play, you can use the Lunalight Fusion to send the 1 resource from the deck to the graveyard, but you want to have the other resource in your hand ready to use as well. So Tenki comes in handy, just being able to search out whatever you need. I also run 2 Fusion Tag, being another card that can make another monster in the field be the name of a card in the extra deck. This, if you wanted to run 3 Polymerization, can also be another replacement for Foolish Burial Goods in the deck, but if it's all down to player preference at that point, what you want to run in the deck for that spot. If you want to run Foolish Burial Goods or Fusion Tag, this could be the other spot to fill in. And then as for the traps, I am running 2 Lunalight Serenade Dance. When a fusion material is when a fusion monster is fusion summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters and apply effects based on the sequence. Special summon 1 Lunalight token to the field, or the target gains 500 attack for each monster your opponent controls, even if this card leaves the field. And during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target and send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. If you do special summon 1 Lunalight monster from your deck onto the field, you can only use this effect of Serenade Dance once per turn. So you have the play for the banish being another target cost for Foolish Burial Goods. Once again, you have plenty of options to take out for that card in the deck, but also just being a setup for more powerhouse plays in the deck and with your Lunalight monsters. For the last of the added setup, just 2 Lunalight Reincarnation Dance. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add up to 2 Lunalight monsters from your deck to your hand. You can activate 1 Reincarnation Dance per turn. So if you had to resolve to going into a Link summon for the turn and your opponent attacks over that Link monster, you can still activate Reincarnation Dance, which is very, very useful. It's not limited to if your Lunalight monster was destroyed. So being able to have this to just get you more of the search material needed for your Lunalight Fusion play is why I like running this card in the deck also. And that's it for the main deck. When I move on to the extra deck, I run 2 Lunalight Cat Dancer. I run 2 for a good majority of the Lunalight Fusions, just so you have the option readily available to go into one of them for the fusion play, but then to also use the other resource for, let's say, cards like Lunalight Fusion for the bigger fusion plays. Cat Dancer is a very, very useful one, just needing 2 Lunalight monsters. It cannot be destroyed by battle. And also you can tribute 1 other Lunalight monster for the rest of this turn. The first time each monster your opponent controls will be destroyed by battle or card effect, it's not destroyed. And also it can make a second attack on all monsters your opponent controls. This is the play I was going off of with this card, being able to tribute a Lunalight monster, having Red Fox be the card to make your opponent's monster attack 0, doubling the attack of your Cat Dancer with Blue Cat, and then swinging into that monster twice with Cat Dancer for over 8,000 attack and damage total using just this card. If you want more of a protective play, I run 2 Lunalight Panther Dancer. It can't be destroyed by card effects with this one. So being more of a setup for the first time your opponent's monster will be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. Also, it can attack all monsters your opponent control twice each. Being more of a powerhouse setup and needing Cat Dancer for this fusion play to go into. I also run 2 Lunalight Saber Dancer. I would say this is your go-to boss monster for a lot of your plays, needing 3 Lunalight monsters. It must be fusion summoned, gains 200 attack for each Beast Warrior monster in your banished or in the graveyard. So your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, and during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target fusion monsters you control. It gains 3,000 attack until the end of this turn. Another way to power up Cat Dancer if need be, or any of your other Lunalight monsters, with the final boss monster being Lunalight Leo Dancer, a 3,500 attack point monster that can attack twice, so that's enough damage there. Just needing Panther Dancer and 2 Lunalight monsters to make this card. For the more generic side of the extra deck, for the Link monsters, we're running 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Lena the Light Charmer, since we do run the 1 light target, if possible, when made with this deck in the form of when we can summon out Lunalight Wolf to go into this play. Also, 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, being more of the dark attribute side for the deck in our summons, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Borreload Dragon, and then for the Xyz monsters, I run 1 Diamond Dire Wolf and 1 Daigusto Morale. I thought of running the Fire Fist Tiger King as an add option instead of this rank 4, but you could put that in if you'd like also. And then as for the go-to plays in the deck, the big part of the deck is just being able to set up your playstyle. So if you have cards like Yellow Martin or your Lunalight Emerald Bird for that play when it's normal summoned, you can send 1 Lunalight card from your hand to the graveyard to draw 1 card. So depending on what you send, can also be that setup to use against your opponent. If you send Crimson Fox, you have the card effect ready to go for the 0 attack. Or if you go for the Blue Cat play, you have a monster ready to special summon back onto the field with your resources readily available, like Lunalight Perfume, targeting the Blue Cat after you go for the fusion play, which then you'll do using your Lunalight Fusion. If your opponent controls the extra deck monster, you can use your resource on the field, and then 1 from the deck. Be another way to send cards like Crimson Fox for that fusion summon of your Lunalight Cat Dancer. And then with that, you will use the Lunalight Perfume to special summon Blue Cat, targeting the Cat Dancer to double its attack, and then using it to tribute the Blue Cat so it can attack all your opponent's monsters twice. And if it was sent with Crimson Fox with the Lunalight Fusion, making one of your opponent's monsters 0 attack, and then being able to swing into it twice for the total amount of damage. The whole point of the deck just comes down to what you can do for the fusion plays, and also then just being able to then banish the Lunalight Perfume to recycle a Lunalight card in your graveyard. Just gives you not only another viable tribute for next turn if the attacks didn't work this time around, but more resources for other fusion plays, including then using cards like Cat Dancer to go into Panther Dancer, and then so on and so forth. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Very happy with the results. I feel like I get happier and happier with each Lunalight deck I make. We just gotta wait and see if we get more support for it. I know we're getting a support for a bunch of other decks in the future. It feels like Melodious and Lunalights are definitely being left out compared to Lyrilusks and Wind Witches compared to the support they've gotten recently. So maybe we'll see some more Lunalight support in the future. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.